this video, we will demonstrate how to split voyages when needed. For example, in the following three situations: change of ship's responsible company occurring during a voyage, change of reporting period, or voyages starting during the reporting year and finishing in the following year, ice conditions encountered during the part of the voyage, if ship is entitled to use the benefit from sailing in ice, a derogation under FuelEU Legal Scope Annex 5. Any of the above situations require reporting the voyage split, either at the moment when ship changes the responsible company, or at the end of the year, or when entering the navigation through ice. In this tutorial, I will demonstrate how to perform the split of the voyage for the third case, when sailing in ice. Let's use this ship as an example to report monitoring data related to a voyage that shall be split. The ship has an ice class, therefore we can discriminate both regular navigation and navigation through ice. In our example, we will report a voyage from a port in Denmark to another port in Poland, which partially includes navigation through ice. To report this voyage in the system, we would need to record three desegregated voyages. First, regular navigation from the port in Denmark until ship enters ice conditions at position with coordinates x1, y1. Second, navigation through ice conditions from the previous position until ship exits ice conditions at position with coordinates x2, y2. And the third segment is the regular navigation from the previous position, exiting ice conditions until the port in Poland. Voyages monitoring data is reported in the ship record. Therefore, let's click Actions, Ship, Edit, and open the tab Voyage Emissions. Now we will record the first part of the voyage from the port in Denmark up to the start of the ice conditions. Let's click Add Voyage Emissions. In this example, we are recording the information related to the voyage until the ship enters the ice navigation. Now we shall specify time at sea on the next tab. You can notice that the only field editable here is the one related to regular navigation, since this is the voyage activity type we have selected in the previous tab. On the next tab, distance traveled, again only the regular navigation field is editable since we have selected this particular voyage activity. The data reported in the remaining tab is done the same way as for any other voyage. So, for the purpose of this tutorial, these tabs will be quickly filled in without any detailed demonstration. We recommend following the dedicated tutorials on reporting voyages and port emissions in Thetis MRV system. The monitoring data of the first part of the voyage is recorded in the voyage emissions. Now we can proceed recording the second part of the voyage, where the open waters end and the sailing in ice condition starts. Let's click Add Voyage Emission. Now we need to specify time at sea. Notice that this time the only field editable is the one related to through ice, since this is the voyage activity type we have selected in the previous tab. On the next tab, Distance Traveled, we notice that again only through ice field is editable, corresponding to the same voyage activity. The data reported in the remaining tabs is done the same way as for any other voyage, and therefore will be quickly filled in without detailed demonstration. The monitoring data of the second part of the voyage is now recorded in the voyage emissions, and we can start recording the last third part of the voyage when ice conditions end and the ship enters the regular navigation. Notice that in the second tab, Time at Sea, we can record data in the regular navigation field, which is editable corresponding to the voyage activity selected. The monitoring data of the third part of the voyage is now recorded in the voyage emissions. Now we can see that the voyage emissions are split in 3 separate records, clearly identifying the record with a different voyage activity. With this demonstration, you will be able to split a voyage for one of the following reasons. In case there was a change of the ship responsible company during a voyage, due to the change of the reporting periods when voyages started, for example, in December and finished in January of the following year, or as presented earlier in this tutorial, ice conditions were encountered during parts of the voyage, while the ship was entitled to use the benefit from sailing in ice, a derogation under FuelEU legal scope Annex 5.